Hey, everybody. Happy Friday night. Just checking to make sure I have everything I need in front of me. You guys, I can't even explain to you what has gone on in the past 15 minutes. But I am going to, I'm going to go there. This is my personal life. So if you are listening on a replay, fast forward for this part. But before I do that, I want to thank everybody who listened last night to Jacquelyn share her story. I didn't expect anything different from what happened, but I just want to let you all know that I appreciate you so much for being supportive with her and just listening. And I have checked on her last night and today. She's doing great. I told her that at any time, if she wants me to take down that video, that's all she has to say and it's gone. It's gone forever. I care about you guys, but I don't care about YouTube that much to not do that. My hair is a rat's nest. Don't mind that. It's rained about 100 times here today. And I'll probably be playing with these damn bangs all night because humidity and rain. It is what it is. So I see a lot of you saying, in reference to Jacquelyn, she was amazing. Yes, she was. Very brave. Great show last night. So, yay. I'm so glad you're all here. It's so nice to see you. So, some of you may know this, some of you may not. I have a 12-year-old stepdaughter, and I got a text from her mother tonight sending me this picture. And I'm going to share my screen in just 1 second. And I'm going to tell you a little story about how crazy my life can get. So hold on 1 second here. Share my screen. Share my screen. Okay, you guys get ready for this. Look at that. Do you guys know what this is? This is someone's hair with a wad of gum on the end of it. Yes. Well, this happened not long before we went live. So, yeah, it's someone's hair with gum on it. Yep, gum. So this came from her mom, and she said, can you ask Isabella about this? So here's the story. Everybody thinks I'm mean because I don't allow gum in my house anymore. And it is because I find it stuck everywhere. But apparently she snuck some at her mom's house and fell asleep last night. And she, instead of telling her mom, she cut her hair off. And yes, peanut butter will get it out. It will. For some reason, she didn't tell her mommy. And I'm not going to show a picture of her because that's not fair. But it got cut out from like right here. It literally has. Look how massive that bunch of hair is. There's a big hole right here, which is why she had some crazy bun on the top of her head today. So yeah. And yes, Ping Router, she probably fell asleep with gum in her mouth. And yeah, that's what happened. So anyway, it was the mystery of the hair with the wadded gum on the end. I still don't know how that happens. Oh, your daughter did it too, insightful one? That's funny. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. So anyway, I will take that off the screen because honestly, like it kind of grosses me out to look at it. So tonight I want to talk to you guys about a couple things. And actually, I'm going to divert from my plans. So let me go back to or I can see what you're saying. I was going to talk about Daybell and the tapes, Alex and Zulema, and I will still do that if that's what you guys want to talk about. But there's also some things in the Gabby Petito case, and so we can save those for tomorrow if you want. So I'm just going to let you guys like kind of give me an idea of what you want to talk about. Do you want to talk about Daybell as planned, which is one, which you should probably do because that's my thumbnail, or do you want to go ahead and talk about some little things in the Gabby Petito case? Or option 3 is, if we have time at the end, we'll do Petito 2, and if not, we'll do it tomorrow. And it looks like Vallow might be the one. Yep. Gabby. Okay, Corner Lover says Gabby. Whatever you want to do, crew. I can't even say my own name. It's like I've got gum in my mouth. You guys forgive me. I am going to play with my hair one time. The camera is backwards. And I was like, why does that feel weird? Now we got it going on. I need a haircut really badly. Okay, yeah, you're right. True crime Chad. You guys, do I need to start over? I can't even talk. It is my channel, True Crime Todd. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's hard to say True Crime Todd. Okay, both if we can. If we can't get to Petito, we will do that tomorrow night after Trisha's story time. So, and the other thing I wanted to tell you real quick is that Trisha and I are trying to work on something together. I had an idea. I shared it with her yesterday, and I think if we can execute it, it's going to be really awesome. So kind of stay tuned for that. We're not going to give out any details. We're just going to tease you with that. And the last order of business is, what do you think about Fright Day nights for the rest of October? So on Friday nights, we do Fright Day nights, and we do something similar to what I did with Trisha with the 13 creepy, cringeworthy true crime Christmas stories. So let me know in the comments if that's something you're interested in, and we'll kind of go from there. But I'm just going to go ahead and move on to Daybell then. So here is the lowdown on the hose down in Vallow Town. So first order of business, Chad had a hearing today for a change of venue, and Judge Stephen Boyce granted the request to move the trial from Fremont County, and it's most likely going to end up in Boise, Idaho. That came out this morning. John Pryor, Daybell's attorney, argued that significant media attention would affect the ability to find an unbiased jury, and he requested that everything be moved to Ada County, and Judge Boyce went ahead and granted that motion. And this is what he said. Excuse me 1 second. I'm going to go back here and hold on. I coughed. It's amateur hour over here with Amy. So people that want to say things about me in the comments, I just said it myself. So nah. Okay. The court, this is from Judge Boyce. The court has always found the citizens of Fremont County to be fair, attentive, and dedicated jurors when called upon to fulfill that critically important civic duty. The court has no doubt that absent the extraordinary circumstances presented here, Fremont County would have been an ideal location for this trial and an ideal jury pool from which to select triers of fact to determine this case. However, this is no ordinary case. Rob Wood and Lindsay Blake wanted the trial to remain in Fremont County. And what they wanted to do is kind of like what they did in Casey Anthony, where we didn't use the jury pool from Orlando. We pulled from Pinellas County, which is over near Tampa, brought them to Orlando and sequestered them. Now, I think this is interesting because I don't have 100 cases to pull from, but generally speaking, in high profile cases, when you sequester a jury for a trial of this magnitude, a lot of things go on. And I don't know if there's a scientific term, or not scientific, but like a real term for this, but they get cabin fever. They start turning on each other. They want this over. And I just think about Casey Anthony, OJ Simpson. Think about these people locked in hotels with no newspapers, no TV, no Netflix. It's hard. I don't know if I'd really, is it called the OJ effect, Todd? Is that what we're going to call it? I'm okay with that. I really am. Um, yes, Kenny Williams, like the movie 12 Angry Men. So, personally, I don't think I'd ever want a sequestered jury as a prosecutor. So, I find that interesting. So, just thought I'd kind of mention there. Yeah, they wanted it to stay in Fremont, but a sequestered jury brought in from another part of Ohio or Idaho. Boyce said nope to that, and he will rule on whether or not this jury will be sequestered if it happens over in Boise, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. He also made a statement. He said the court has determined that a transfer within the 7th Judicial District would not alleviate the issue, as the entire 7th District is within the scope of saturated media coverage and local interest that the court has considered in determining this issue as to Fremont County. So they had talked about moving it to like Idaho Falls or some other neighboring places. I think Blackfoot and Rigby, Idaho were also named. They're all in that district, and they are in that market share for the media that's been covered in the trial. But I mean, not the trial, but the case. Again, I don't really understand this because this is national. It's not like they're just counting on local news. It's a little strange to me. So in the end, his ending statement basically was the court concludes that Ada County would provide the best opportunity to conduct the trial in this case. Lori's case, of course, is still on hold, and there is no trial date set for Chad as of yet. So we'll see. Yeah, that's right. The story is international. Sherry, what are you saying? That is where a well-known criminal defense attorney with the office in Colorado has his pilot license. Oh, okay. Nudge, weak. What do you mean? What do you mean? Yeah, picking the rat out. Yeah, you have to be like, I don't know, living under a rock not to know. I can't think of anything snarky to say that doesn't belong to someone else. You get all the coverage in Australia? I find that fascinating. All right. I really do. And yes, they did change, the Insightful One says they changed the location of the jury in the Scott Peterson trial as well. Yeah. So, I don't know. It's $1 million question. If you were the prosecutor, do you want a sequestered jury? I don't think I would. I think I'd vote no on that, to be honest. So, I just had a moment where I looked up to make sure I was live. I don't know what I was thinking. Remember that one night I messed up? I really don't know why. I mean, I have a chat here. It's just it's a wacky night. There's gum in the hair, and there are feral children, and I don't even know. So that is Chad Daybell right there. And on to the next. I like to call this little number. Alex has 99 problems, and being overweight is just one. I hope you guys get the joke. It's not really that funny. It's me being a dork. But if you have watched, let's see, there were a lot of interview tapes released yesterday and the day before. I think we have Lori Vallow. So we have Lori Vallow, Alex Cox, Tylee Ryan and Melanie Gibb, and they are all being interviewed the day that Charles Vallow was murdered. And I am going to say murdered because that's what it was. So those have never been seen before, and they're very interesting. If you have not seen them, I have them all on True Crime Sushi's Facebook page. I also have them on Twitter, and I do believe they're in the community section on YouTube. So go ahead and check those out and listen. I want to discuss those 4 in like one single session, and it's a lot. But very interesting when you talk about all 4 of them being released, or, we listen to all 4 of them, and then we chat about those 4. Now, in addition, Adam Cox, who is Lori's other brother, and Alex's brother, of course, he has an interview too. I have not listened to that yet. That is going to be my little treat because I am a true crime nerd. So that is going to be my little midnight snack when we get off here, and I'm going to watch that too. So you have those 5. We also have a very long interview with Zulema Pastenes, who is now the widow of Alex Cox. They had been married for a couple weeks before he died. So, but right now I'm going to talk about Alex. Alex's tape, first of all, across the board, disturbing. It's disturbing because I understand, including myself, when I'm in stressful situations, I crack jokes and things like that. But the reason why I said Alex's 99 problems and being overweight is just one is because that's basically the first thing that comes out of his mouth in this video. The officer is asking him if he can take pictures of his hands, if he needs medical treatment. This is right after the murder of Charles, because Alex shot him. Alex shot him and killed him and murdered him. No ambiguity about that. Lori is being charged in conspiracy for that. So yeah. So they're asking him about, if there's any medical conditions they need to know. And he's like, I'm a little overweight. It's just not, everybody behaves differently, but I think this was pretty serious. This was your sister's husband, and your niece and nephew were there when it happened. And there's just really, I don't know. He just seems very vacant. So let's see. The biggest question here, I guess, is why didn't Maricopa County, why didn't they immediately arrest Alex Cox? I don't know why this took so long. There are contradictions between what Lori says, what Tylee says, what Alex says. The stories weren't matching up. I think their behavior was a little unnerving for most of us. The fact that Lori had a pool party that night, which, by the way, I've heard that's a rumor, and then I heard that it's true, and so I don't know. So I'm just going to say it because I don't normally do this and follow the crowd, but everybody talks about the pool party. But Colby did say he went over that night, and Lori was sitting by the pool, and she had people over. So there you go. Maybe that's why it's a pool party. So all their stories just don't kind of match up. One of the examples that I see in this is that Alex says, he fired a couple of shots and then more than one. And then he's like, oh, but it was self-defense. But he never gave Charles a warning. Like, he never said, like, I'm going to shoot you now, or get back, or I'll shoot you. Like, nothing. He just simply said, well, this is his quote. He said, when asked about the situation, he said, I didn't say anything. He was coming at me and I'm holding a gun. This is what he tells the detective. And then he says, you come at someone holding a gun, you got to be ready for the repercussions. And when he was asked what happened after the shooting, Alex kind of stumbles. He's clearly trying to not just recollect, but maybe concoct a story. He's searching his mind. And so he says, this is the quote, what happens right after that, I went to the kitchen, rinsed my hands off, then I went back into the room, put the gun down, grabbed my phone, and then went back into the kitchen and called 911. So I did put the link to, did I put the link? I can't remember. I'll have to go back and look, but I will check afterwards. I believe I put the link to both of these recordings that we're talking about right now. I believe I put that link in my description. If not, like I said, you can find them on the True Crime Sushi Facebook page or YouTube community page or on Twitter, because I try to put things everywhere because I know everybody has their place where they look for stuff. I noticed that the True Crime Sushi page does not get a lot of traffic, and so I'm actually thinking about just getting rid of it. If you have a problem with that, like, let me know. I'll keep it up. I just, I post things and there's just nothing. So it is what it is. Let's see, what else can we say? Based on the timeline, Charles would have laid dead or dying approximately 43 minutes before Alex called 911, is what the investigators wrote. And during that time, you will remember that Alex places a call to Lori. The investigator also noted that Alex's story did not make sense. He didn't believe he was telling the truth. And Alex claims to have performed CPR on Charles Vallow, although there is no physical evidence, blood transfer, anything that happened. And so it is believed that is not the truth. So I'm going to go back. I've been looking at chat. I've been looking at something else at the same time. So what are you guys saying? You're talking amongst yourselves. Nah. A cooking show. Well, Tracy, I'm going to keep YouTube. I definitely am going to keep YouTube. Look at this hair. Jeez Louise. Maybe I should just take, I have scissors. You want me to just, this will get me some views, right? You ready? Right here. I'm going to go for it. Right here, guys. That would be something. Okay, yeah, we're going to get, Kim says, Zulema's interview is interesting, and we're going to get to that too. In just a second, I just wanted to see if you guys had any, oh, I like this. Don't you dare. Ask Trisha Griffith what happens when you dare me to do something. I like a good dare. Maybe one day I'll do it. I like to play home haircut. It's not one of my better qualities. Anyway, let's get back. This next little part I like to call, oh no, Zulema, you were almost Pastenes. So this is crazy. This tape is like 2 hours long. It happened in April. This recording was made in April of 2021. Zulema is called back into the investigators or the detectives to go over some things. They're trying to make sure that their stories and everything they have is like locked tight because they're worried about the defense and Lori and Chad's trial. Okay. So the day after Alex, Cox, and Zulema get married in Las Vegas. Remember, they all go out to Las Vegas, and Melanie Gibb is there with Melanie Boudreau at the time was there with Ian Pulowski because they'd met on their little dating site, and they all just, magically got married one weekend prior to, the impending apocalypse. So it was all a little fishy anyway. But anyway, so it's the day after Alex and Zulema get, elope in Las Vegas. It's a Saturday, and it's the afternoon. And Alex, who is also, he is not just a truck driver, you guys. He's a real Renaissance man. He is a nanny. He is a hitman. He moves heavy things. What else does Alex do? Oh, he's a comedian. He's an amateur stand-up comedian, and he's also every woman's dream, a massage therapist. Go figure. I mean, Zulema just hit payday with him. So, middle of the day, Alex is a massage therapist. He's never given Cuddle Therapy Pastenes a massage. And he, kind of says like, hey, baby, now that we're married and I can touch you with oily fingers, how about I give you a massage? And she's like, yeah, that sounds great. I love cuddling and being touched with oily fingers. Yay. So he's like, great, it's on. But first we need to go to Walmart. They go to Walmart and he buys a large plastic drop cloth, like the kind you use when you paint. Like you paint a room and you're protecting your floors. Some people use them for other things. Won't get to that. So they go to Walmart. They pick this big plastic tarp-like thing, and they get back to the hotel room, and he spreads it over the bed. And Pastenes says, Zulema, Cuddly Pastenes, says she remembers lying down on the plastic and quickly falling asleep. So I'm just going to stop you right here. I don't think I'd fall, like the thought of falling asleep on a drop cloth, a plastic drop cloth, sounds horrible. It sounds like it'd be sweaty and smelly, and I don't know why I would be laying on like basically an elevated slip and slide to get a massage. It's weird. And so she says she's lying down and she's quickly falling asleep. And she says, this is her quote, I was really, really relaxed. Like when you're trying to wake up and can't, Pastenes recalled. I was thinking, why am I so relaxed and can't wake up? I was in and out and you could hear him talking. And I was like, who is he talking to? She then says it sounded like Alex was talking on the phone in the bathroom. And when she was finally able to wake herself up, I don't know if you guys know that feeling, but like you're laying there and you're like, I should get up, but you're like going in between reality and your dream and you don't know what's what. When she finally gets to the point where she could wake herself up, she asks him who he's been talking to. And he says, nobody, I was talking to myself. So she like takes a shower and she says, we should watch a movie together. Let's cuddle and watch a movie. I'm really good at that. I usually get paid for it, honey, but tonight, because we're married, it's free. So, while she's suggesting watching this movie, she says he's all distracted. He's like, got his phone and he's not really paying attention to her. And that can't feel good. Like, your first day of marriage. So, she's like, he was just, her words, super quiet. And then she says, Alex is usually joking and he would find a way to turn things into a joke. He was always making you laugh, but he said nothing for the rest of the evening. I asked if he was okay and he said, I'm just tired. The fact that he was quiet and said nothing, that's so not Alex. Alex is just not quiet. Then she says, at the time, and she's referring to the massage, I had no question about it. There was not enough oil for a drop cloth. And now I'm like, why would you necessitate a whole drop cloth over the bed to give me a massage? That doesn't make any sense to me at all. Really? You're just now thinking about that? Maybe I'm just a little too crazy because of all the stuff that's happened. But in the back of my mind, I keep thinking that who was on the phone was Chad and Lori, and that was supposed to be my last day. Then she goes on to say She doesn't remember eating or drinking anything unusual that afternoon and said it was the only time Cox ever gave her a massage. So, I'm asking you guys. There's the oil. Yeah. I think, I think he was on the phone and they were trying to decide if they were going to kill her and then wrap her up in that plastic sheet, slip and slide, rubber sheet, whatever it is. But that whole story is so weird. Okay, what are you guys talking about? I see you saying, hold on. You ready for a stomach turner? What we thought about Alex and Lori was true. Not 100%, but still. Check Justin Lum. So I'll go. Am I supposed to go look at Justin Lum right now? I will. On Twitter. Is that what I'm supposed to do? Or on Facebook? I'll look on Facebook. Hold on. Give me just 1 second. I have him on my favorites. Yeah, I see that he has. This is a very, very we tried to cover everything that's been dumped in one night. We would be here for, hours and hours and hours. So I'm trying to break it up into little bits, mostly because I don't really like to go over an hour and a half, to be honest. Tracy L. I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to put it up there. You guys are funny. I try to keep things around 90 minutes just because for people that miss the live and don't sit through it and can't interact, it's a lot. It's hard to commit. And maybe I'm just thinking about myself, but I have a really hard time listening to anything over 2 hours. So the Debbie interview, so I missed something. I don't know what the Debbie interview is. And yes, catnip. That story freaked me out too. How many people were they considering killing? Yeah. And so did they decide, they'd only said, Chad and Lori had always kind of like lifted Zulema up and said, like, you're special, like you're sacred or whatever. Did they decide at the last minute that Alex was they had asked Alex to do what they needed Alex to do, and now he was a liability because he knew everything, and they got rid of him at the last minute instead of Zulema? And how, I'm just imagining this scene, like how important did Lori feel, like, sitting in bed next to Chad with a list of people, like, it's going to be this one or this one. I don't know. I'll go back and forth. Let's call. Let's see how we feel when we talk to him today, and then we'll decide. I mean, you guys really, really, really think about that and the importance that how important she must have felt, like that she was in charge of who lived and who died. That makes my blood run cold, honestly. And because they like to make lists and because they discuss things, I don't think that's a far-fetched scenario, that some of this was like a game, and it was so, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but she was so disconnected, and I don't know where Chad stands. I really don't know. But let's just say they're both just so disconnected that all they're thinking about is their stupid mission, that people aren't really people anymore. They're, they're this. They're like, is it the purple one or the yellow? I don't know. Which one do you like better? Well, this one's kind of sparkly, and this one writes better. So I don't know. I mean, what are we gonna do? It's gross. Yes, it is playing God. Um, you're laughing at the voice I make. Sorry. And I wonder what drugs they were using, because I think it's, if Zulema is telling the truth, and she has use immunity, and we've talked about that on Trisha's show on WebSeuss. I hope she's telling the truth, because she's received a gift. What are they using to knock these people out? Is that the same drug they gave to Tylee? Because don't we most of us believe that Tylee was given something on the night she died? I don't think that Tylee could have been easily overpowered. I just really don't. Even if you don't think that she was, I think she was strong physically. But even if you don't believe in that, and you think, well, she was, a 17-year-old girl or whatever, what she may have lacked in any other department, she was over the top and being strong-willed. And I think she knew these things were happening to other people, and I think she would have fought for her life, because there was no question that it was her. They were coming for her now. I think she already knew that. I think she knew she was a liability, and I think she would have had to have been drugged in order for them to do the things that they did. So that's interesting. So let's take this for what it is. Kitty Von Meow says brain scans show the same regions of brain flare in drug users as religious people. So let's maybe not say religious people, and say people that are, what would the word be? Over the top, overzealous type of, those kind of people. There's a word for it. Charismatic, like very charismatic religious people. Religious exaltation, that cult-like thing. That could be it. And people also get that rush when they have control and power, and they think they're planning and they're in charge of people's destiny and future. So again, if I'm sitting there and I'm trying to figure out if it's Alex or Zulema today, got to do one. That might give you a rush too, if you're that kind of person. Let me see if there's anything else in this one that I wanted to go over. I have a little, I do like a little outline so I don't forget anything. Oh, this is good. Okay, so the day before Alex died, Zulema says that Lori and Chad called Alex to tell him that Tammy Daybell's body was being exhumed from Springfield Evergreen Cemetery in Utah. And this is her quotes. She says, the way they were talking, they weren't really saying anything like they were worried or anything like that, Pastenes said. I had a feeling that this was really weird. I knew that if I asked Lori and Chad about it, they probably wouldn't say anything. But I thought if they had done anything, Alex would probably tell me. Zulema had told the police previously that Chad had said that Tammy was going to die in a car accident. We all know this, on a trip to Utah. We know that didn't happen. Chad said she did pass away, but she was taken over by an evil spirit. So that's how he explains. Oh, Lord. This is how Chad explains his false prophecies. He said, well, I said it was a car accident, but I just got something wrong in my portal closet. What really happened is Tammy died and the evil spirit came in her body. So my prophecy was correct. I just didn't get the details right, because, sometimes, especially with people taking the wire hangers out of the closet, the metal helps. I don't get those things as clear as I should. Oh, whatever, Chad. By the way, in the description, I left you guys a little treat. You can go read it when you want. So let's see. So, 2 weeks after she went to visit her sister, she died in her sleep. Zulema says that after Alex got off the phone with Chad and Lori, she actually asked him if he had anything to do with Tammy's death. And she says, he goes, no, that's it. Nothing else. I was waiting for him to say something else. So I'm like, are you going to say anything else? No, he said. She explained to the detectives that Alex seemed so sure of his answer that she didn't think that he would be involved. And she stood up and began walking away. And then he said something really weird. He said, I think I'm being their fall guy. And she asked him, fall guy for what? What is it they're trying to pin on you? What did they do? And she says he didn't want to say anything. And a few minutes later, Alex looked at her and said, either I'm a man of God or I am not. And then the next day, he died. So let's see. The rest of the tape, they kind of talk about whether or not they're discussing with Zulema whether or not Alex and Zulema were really in love, and that's why they got married. The motivation for the marriages, because they were already on to all these people pairing up. Not all of them, but it just whatever. There are people pairing up, and they hadn't known each other that long, and it's kind of like, what's up with this? So, Pastenes says that her and Alex had spent, prior to getting married, hours of time on the phone discussing scriptures, and that Alex doted over her, and she believes that they were truly in love. She said, I don't know if someone could fake it that well. If I didn't love somebody, I don't know if I could be that doting over that person. I couldn't fake it. Maybe he could. And if he could fake it, he was a really good faker, she said. She said she spent, this is in April, of course, of this year, that she spent a lot of time thinking about, what's transpired over the past 2 years. And she believes that, so Lori and Chad kept pressuring her to move to Idaho, up with them. They were trying to get everybody up in Idaho, and she has roots in Arizona. So she was like, I don't think so, which is why Alex was living in her house at that time. And she feels like if she moved to Idaho, she probably would be dead. And I would say she's probably right. She's lucky she didn't end up in that tarp or on that plastic sheet in the hotel room bed. I think the last thing, sorry guys, the last thing I can pull from that tape is she does say that after Lori and Chad got married, they wouldn't tell her where they were. They said it was for her protection, that she didn't know. She thought she tells the investigator, she thought they were in Utah. But we all know now they were actually in Hawaii. And again, this is reiterated. They constantly told her she was special and needed to be cared for above anyone else. And before her and Alex were engaged, Chad and Lori were pushing the relationship. They were really trying to push Alex and Zulema together. And Chad apparently gave her another special blessing, telling her to marry Alex so that her mission could be fulfilled. So it'll be interesting when this goes to trial to see how this all kind of works in together. I'm sorry. I'm looking at one more little note. She also shared some code. So when they would all talk on their burner phones, they had codes that they would use. So two of the codes that I wrote down was um, pretty bird. Pretty bird was the phrase used for when it's not safe to talk. And not happy, Bob was the code when things were okay. And gosh, I'd love to see how that was worked into conversation because that is really, really weird. I don't know how you think you're like fooling people. Let me see if there's anything else. Oh, she, when she talks about if she had moved, if Zulema had moved to Idaho, she does talk about that during this interview, and the quote is, "I now see that they, meaning Chad and Lori, and perhaps Alex, had a real nefarious plan to do something to me or Alex, or that we were the final piece to move to Rexburg, and by the grace of God, I didn't move there. I dodged a bullet by not moving to Rexburg. Now, more than ever, I think, was Alex being true? Was he lying? Was he being told what to do? Yes, honey, he was. Did he really have a relationship with me, or was he just following what Chad and Lori were telling him? I ask myself whether these people are insane or they're just led by evil." I'm just going to tell you what I think about this right here. And dang, that's my censor button, because inside my head, there's all kinds of profanity all the time. Just so you know. So my phone beeps whenever I'm thinking bad words. I think that Zulema, even though she has immunity, she should just put it out on the table and be who she is. I think this is all pretend. I really hope that Alex loved me. I thought, I was hoping it would be true. I don't know what they were up to. Yeah, I think she did. And I think she's trying to cover it. Like make herself look like this innocent person. And it's so like, I'm going to go back and read it again. She says, "I now see they had a real nefarious plan to do something to me or Alex, or that we were the final piece to move to Rexburg, and by the grace of God, I did not move there. I dodged a bullet." Wait, can we be Scarlett O'Hara? "By the grace of God, I did not move there. I dodged a bullet by not moving to Rexburg. Now more than ever, I think, was Alex being true? Was he lying? Was he being told what to do? Do I need a staircase? Did he really have a relationship with me, or was he just following what Chad and Lori were telling him? I ask myself whether these people are insane or they're just led by evil." You all are insane, Zulema. All of you. And you're just trying to get yourself out. And that's my hot take on that one. I want to know what you guys think. I know I got a little crazy. I'm sorry. I think the more that you guys get to know me, like on my own, you will see how actual weird I am. Tracy, I can't wear the dress because I'm in Florida and we have like Venetian blinds or like wood louver things. So that wouldn't make a real cute dress. And if I pulled them the wrong way, it'd be like, ooh. So, no. What is it? 1,000 pair of scissors. So, wait. If I get 1,000 what? I get a pair of scissors? I could cut my hair? Is that what you're saying? If we get 1,000 people in chat, I will cut my hair on camera. No, okay. I won't do that. You want me to act out the whole interview like that? Maybe. It would bless my slap. Oh, it's a little kind of dirty. The more you tell me, the more, what is this? The more you tell me, the more amazed I get. 25 years old. What is 25 years old? I don't understand. You must be talking to somebody. Oh, you're talking to Insightful One. See, you guys, I'm like in dingbat mode tonight. I'm telling you. Hi, Sassy Cat 64. So I want to know, is there anybody that has anything to add to this? What do you think? I mean, do you think Zulema is really this delicate cuddle therapist? It's like, I can't believe I picked the wrong people. I don't know why Lori gave Zulema scissors. I don't know. I do need virtual coffee. When that becomes a thing, I will genuflect in your presence. The person that invented it. All right. Nobody wants to talk Daybell with me? Oh, myself up here. Oh my God. How did I forget that? Oh, thank you. Okay. I know I have this written down too, because I remember I have 16 pages of notes. Or no, I don't. I'm lying. I have 11 pages of notes. Let's see. Where is that? Because I do want to talk about that. I'm looking. Here we go. Okay. Here we go. Zulema says that either on December 10th or 11th, that she had a conversation with Alex that went something like this. And keep in mind, he died on December 12th. So this was December 10th or 11th. They had this conversation. And she says, this is her quote, like 1 or 2 days before he passed, he said to me, Zulema, if anything happens to me, I want you to know that there is money in a bag in the closet and it's for you. It's not much, but it's for you. Pastenes told the police that she said, don't say things like that, Alex. Why would you say something like that? And he said, just in case. Pastenes explained there was a black duffel bag in the closet. Inside was a plastic Ziploc bag holding $5,000 to $7,000. And next to it was headphones, a phone, and a gun in a case. And the phone was seized by police, but Pastenes told detectives she still has a duffel bag and everything else in it. Thank you for reminding me about that. That is important. And I want to touch on that too. $5,000 to $7,000. She doesn't know. She hasn't counted it. Does she not count that high? I mean, what's up with that? The police took the phone, but they didn't take the gun? What? That doesn't make any sense to me either. And Lillian Gale, hazelnut coffee is my crack. The smell of it, the taste of it. I don't put sugar or anything in my coffee. But oh yes, it's heavenly. We are kindred. Yeah, how do you have $5,000 to $7,000 in a duffel bag in the closet? You either have 5 or you have 7 or you have 6,258. You know how much money you have. You know, yeah, her kids counted it for her. That's right. Yeah. Oh, Red like wine again says she's falling asleep. She's been up since 2 a.m. We'll need to get in bed. So sorry. Oh, well, good night. I'm glad you joined us. I don't know what type of gun it was. I don't know. And I know, Sherry, you're so good. You have no addictions. I'm a total sinner. I like my coffee. I like my Diet Coke, although I'm just looking at it. I'm not drinking it. It looks ugly when you drink on camera. Like, there's no way to do it. And then you guys make fun of me when I drink my my baby water. So let's see what else. Catnip says, hold on, these things go fast sometimes. You are saying, I do not believe she cannot remember what else was in that bag. Plus, You know, Zulema knew exactly how much money was in that bag. Exactly how much it was. What about the gun? What? Why didn't the police take the gun? What else was in that bag? It was gun, $5,000 to $7,000, right? Headphones, and the gun case. I don't understand. They should have taken the whole thing. And where did the $5,000 to $7,000 come from? Is that for killing Charles Vallow? Is that for killing JJ and Tylee? Is that for prepayment for killing Zulema and Alex just didn't get around to it? Maybe that's what it was. Maybe he was supposed to kill her and he didn't do it. And so they killed him. I don't know. Oh God, the gun picture came up again. Let me get rid of that. That's going to haunt me. And a phone, right. But the police, Catnip, remember, she says that the police took the phone. That's what's weird to me. Why wouldn't the police take all the other stuff? They didn't take the gun. They didn't take the gun case. When Alex, remember this, when Alex died, he was already being investigated. They hadn't arrested him, of course, or anything, but it was already being investigated because when the detectives heard, they just happened to be in the right place. It was like Kismet, right place, right time. This call comes in. There's somebody from out of town, and they hear that Alex Cox is dead at this address, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, holy crap, that's the guy we're looking at. And from murder and attempted murder and whatnot. So they find him dead, and they find a gun and money and a phone and headphones and everything in a black duffel bag. And they don't take it all. They don't take the gun. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, absolutely no sense. So I think that I was trying to figure out the headphones. I think the headphones would have to be like if he went to like a gun range or something like that, right? Otherwise, I can't think of any other reason. Why he would have it. I gotta get better about running my stream here. It's all, here we go. Ooh, so fancy. Not really. Well, as long as you guys don't have anything else to add to that conversation, I wish you would, because I will tell you this. Please, please, please. You guys have been so good about commenting on YouTube and in the comment section, and then in the community section too. And I love having that discussion there. And there's actually a lot of really good comments that make me think, and I really enjoy reading them because it helps. It just helps me like put everything together, and you make me think of things that I haven't thought of before. Let's see. Maybe gun wasn't in there. Headphone gun range, yes. Yeah, but she said she still had the duffel bag with everything in it, Tracy. Oh, that's what I don't understand. Of course, I think she's a liar, so there's that. Sassy Cat 64. She knew exactly how much money had been in it, but didn't know if her kids took any, and that's why she was vague about the cash, in my opinion. Actually, that's probably a really good observation or guess to that. You think the duffel bag was a getaway kit? I think it was. It could be. I kind of think it was his kill kit. Yeah, Kitty Von Meow, that stinks. I know. iPad doesn't show that. I was just saying the other night, YouTube, I wish they would improve their mobile apps because it's so hard when you're on iPad or iPhone. I don't know how it is with, like, what do you call them? Android. I don't know what it's like with Android devices, But like at nights where I'm trying to moderate, but like I need to be like, because my office is upstairs. So if I need to be with the children downstairs, I'm really most of the time forced to use my iPhone, because even with my laptop, if I have to jump up to like get in the middle of two of them, and or if it's not a night where I'm like, it's a Hunger Games, I'm not getting involved anymore, may God's forever be in your figure. If it's not one of those nights, like it's hard for me to even work on a laptop because I'm constantly like moving it over, and I'm afraid somebody's gonna bump it or spill on it or tackle me or something like that. So yeah, and it doesn't. You're trying to type at everybody, and it's just not. So yeah, I totally get it. You're saving for a laptop. I totally get it. And you chat on your iPhone and watch on your TV. Yeah. Oh, go back. Yep. Yep. It might be. It might be. I personally think it was part of his. I think it's what he took to the gun range with him, and because of the headphones. And then I think that it's also what he may have used when he went to go kill other people. So, all right, we're going to move on. I'll wrap this up. Let's see, it's 11:35. It's been about an hour. I am going to go ahead. Let me pull some things up here. In the meantime, type this up. And then I'll share my screen with you guys. We're going to go ahead and just talk for what the flippin' heck just happened. All right, we'll try that again. All right, here we go. And I'll talk about a couple things in Gabby Petito. And so let's see. Last night, before I dropped off or before I left the stream, I was saying that I had been listening to HLN on Sirius XM, and I'd heard them say that Northport police was saying that they did not see, they did not put eyes on Brian Laundrie, and also that they didn't have Gabby and Brian's phones. And I got a lot of pushback on that, and that's fine because I can handle it. I make mistakes all the time. I'm going to continue to make mistakes. I could have heard things wrong. There's one thing I'll tell you. When I think I've heard something, most of the time I'm pretty good. Like I didn't imagine that. It was just that I was listening on the radio, so I didn't have any. Okay, so Lillian, you heard it too. I was not alone. So, but it was in my car and I was listening to the radio, so it was, difficult because I'm trying, I'm both a visual and an audio learner depending on what my ADD is doing that day. But in the middle of the night, because I am digging little badger. Can you guys see my screen? Let me just pop back here. Yeah, okay. So in the middle of the night, I found it. And make sure that this works. Nope, that didn't work. So I'm going to have to, good grief. I'm going to have to share again. Sharing is caring. All right. Getting to the point though where I'm going to start becoming stingy because the share thing is just not funny. All right, here we go. Check to make sure this is legit. What you're seeing, what I'm seeing. Yep. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to play the survival expert video. Skip down. This is from CNN.com. Don't get political on me because I use all kinds of resources. It was updated Friday. All right. So police in Northport, Florida were surveilling Brian Laundrie, Gabby Petito's fiance, as best as they could legally before he vanished. Police spokesperson Josh Taylor told CNN's Randy Kay on Thursday. Laundrie had returned alone to his family's Northport home September 1st following a trip the two were taking across the American West. Petito's parents, unable to make contact with either her or Laundrie, reported her missing 10 days later. Roughly 2 weeks after his return, Laundrie disappeared, and his parents told police. CNN also learned that authorities never spoke with Laundrie before he went missing, even though they had eyes on him. When police went to the Northport home September 11th, he was not seen, and there was no opportunity to speak with him, Taylor told CNN. That is not what we were told before. It just isn't. On September 19th, Petito's remains were recovered in Wyoming, near where the couple had last been seen together, and a coroner determined she died by homicide. Laundrie has not been charged in her death, though he is the subject of federal arrest warrant for the unauthorized use of another person's debit card and the days after Petito last spoke with her family. Authorities do not have the phone Laundrie had with him on the couple's trip, nor do they have Petito's phone. Neither phone was in Petito's van, which Laundrie drove back to Florida, Taylor told CNN. As the search continues for Laundrie in sprawling Florida Nature Reserve, Taylor also confirmed investigators did not find a campsite during those efforts. That confirmation came after a source close to the Laundrie family told CNN's Chris Cuomo they were informed by investigators that police had made a discovery in Florida's Carlton Reserve. The source on Thursday insisted that the Laundrie family had been told a campsite had been found. It goes on and on. Let's see. They say, let me get this to scroll down. Is it possible that they thought there might be a campsite out there or something they may have seen from the air, but when they got on the ground, that's not what it turned out to be? Sure, I think that's a possibility, Taylor said. Bottom line is that investigators are telling me that no campsite was found out there. Also on Thursday, Laundrie's father, Chris Laundrie, visited the reserve at 24,565-acre wilderness near Laundrie's family home for several hours to help in the search. Family attorney Stephen Bertolino told CNN. The father showed police the trails and locations where he and Laundrie have hiked and frequented, Bertolino said. There were no discoveries, but the effort was helpful to all, Bertolino said. You guys, I can't with him. It seems the water in the preserve is receding and certain areas are more accessible to search. The entire Laundrie family is grateful for the hard work of the dedicated members of law enforcement that have been searching the preserve for Brian over the last few weeks. Hopefully, Brian will be located soon. Let's see, it goes on to say, in recent days, investigators have uncovered new details about Laundrie's earlier movements at the reserve. Northport police confirmed that a notice was placed on an abandoned Ford Mustang belonging to the Laundrie family outside the Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park on September 14th. The park acts as an entrance to the Carlton Reserve. Excuse me one moment. Bertolino, the family attorney, told CNN that upon further communication with the FBI, we now believe the day Brian left to hike in the preserve was Monday, September 13th. His parents had previously told authorities that he had left on September 14th. Chris Laundrie went to look for his son on the night of September 13th. When he didn't return from the park, Bertolino told CNN on Wednesday. The next day, Brian's parents returned to the area to look for Brian and saw the citation on the car. The parents returned again the next day, September 15th, to retrieve the vehicle. The Laundries were basing the date Brian left on their recollection of certain events. Upon further communication with the FBI and confirmation of the Mustang being at the Laundrie residence on Wednesday, September 15th, we now believe the day Brian left to take the hike in the preserve was Monday, September 13th, Bertolino said. CNN asked Bertolino whether Brian's parents believe he's in the reserve or another area. No, they don't believe he's in another area. They believe he's in the preserve, he said. I might as well read you the rest because it's, let's see. The next day, Brian's parents, we already read that part. Okay. I want to see him in a jail cell for the rest of his life. Petito's body was found about a 5 to 10 minute walk from where her van was last seen near the entrance to the Grand Tetons on the border of Bridger Teton National Forest, according to her mother, Nicole Schmidt, and stepfather, Jim Schmidt, during the second installment of an exclusive interview with the Dr. Phil show that aired Wednesday. If you guys are allowed to see it where you're located, sometimes I know you can't see it in Canada or outside the country, but I do have a link to that on my Twitter page. And I believe I put it in YouTube community as well. It's worth watching. It really is. Gabby's body was in a clearing and was just in front of the remnants of a fire ring, Jim Schmidt said. You could see where the rocks have been moved to make the fire ring, he said. It's definitely not an area that was heavily trafficked, he added. Jim Schmidt left a memorial and sunflowers on the site, as CNN previously reported. The Schmidts were joined by Gabby's father, Joe Petito, and his wife, Tara Petito, along with their attorney, Richard Stafford, for the interview with the host, Phil McGraw. Joe Petito says he wants Laundrie found alive so he can spend his life behind bars. I want to see him in a jail cell for the rest of his life where he's an outdoorsman, being in that concrete cell, and he can't go see those trees and hug and smell the fresh air like that, Petito said. I want to look him in his eyes, Nicole Schmidt said. Bertolino declined to comment Wednesday on the Dr. Phil interview. In late September, Laundrie's parents released a statement through their attorney. Chris and Liberta Laundrie do not know where Brian is. They are concerned about Brian and hope the FBI can locate him. The speculation by the public and some in the press that the parents assisted Brian in leaving the family home or in avoiding arrest on a warrant that was issued after Brian had already been missing for several days is just wrong. So, again, we are back to Northport police did not see Brian on the 11th. And they also do not have Gabby's phone. They don't have Brian's phone. I mean, these are all things that, I mean, they said they saw Brian. They did. They had a press conference. And, you know, I will say this, Josh Taylor, who is the public information officer for Northport Police, I will say this about him, because I think you guys all know this. He watches my show and he pays attention to my Twitter, and he's in here tonight I'm kidding. He doesn't give a rat's ass who I am. But I do feel sorry for him, because as being somebody that worked in public relations at one time in my life, it's hard to stand up and say things in front of people like that. It's not his fault that people messed up. He's just the person that had to say it. Does that make sense? So I do have a little bit of empathy for him. I mean, it goes with the territory. It goes with, it just goes with the job. Insightful one, I think Brian ditched both the phones too. Kim says, I thought he left his phone and wallet at mommy and daddy's. I believe he left his new phone because mommy bought him a new phone on October 4th. He left the new phone. We don't know where the phones from their trip are. Like, for instance, the ones they had on the side of the road during the traffic stop. Tamara asked, did I fool you for a second? No. No way. 2 trolls came in called Brian Laundrie this week, and you guys never got to see it, though? Aw. 2 Brian Laundrie trolls came from out the side. What is that? Round the outside. Somebody that can sing, do it. Na 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 na. Yep. Oh, it was on Web Sleuths. Yes, that's a good way to put it. The trip phones are missing. Yes. They don't have the trip phones. Trip phones are missing. So, what is Penguin saying? What reason would Chad and Lori have for killing Zulema? How was she in the way of their mission? Well, I mean, there could be a couple things. Maybe Alex had life insurance on her. I don't know. Let's think of the normal things. Maybe there was a financial benefit to doing it. That would be one. Maybe they thought that Alex was starting to talk because he had said things to Melanie that were a little cryptic, and Melanie Gibb, like when she said, "Where's JJ?" and he said, "I don't you," or "Where's JJ and Tylee?" and he said, "You don't want to know, and they'll never be found." Maybe it's just getting stressful. So I would say it's either money or liability. He was a loose cannon. Yeah, exactly. Inside when he opened his mouth. Let's get back here. What are you saying, Tambra? Some kind of experts, maybe like CNN or something, said that the consensus is that Brian has left Florida and helped to get out of the area. I'm going to get to that in a minute. That's important. Yeah. And then Ping says, we kind of knew that weeks ago. Funny how the news is only just now saying it. I agree. Yep. Loose lips sink ships. What are you saying over here, Carolyn Tillman? Oh, you're so sweet. Oh, thank you. My gosh, I don't want to say killed because that's not really nice, especially when we're talking true crime. I would have killed for sushi tonight. They did pizza in my family, and anorexia is not going to set in, guys. But I can't eat like bread, like I have the celiac thing going on, and so I was eating salad, which is good. It was a Greek salad, and it was good. It's like my go-to thing, but it like didn't satisfy me, I wanted their pizza, but when I could have had it, I mean, we all know you won't die from it. You'll just look like you've been living in the desert for 20 years with no food. 9 months pregnant tomorrow. So anyway, Tambra, you didn't want to spread the rumors. Yeah. Where's Tambra F saying? Wherever Brian is, he's definitely comfortable. He has a bed, Wi-Fi, food, clean clothes. He's not hiding in a reserve or a forest. Yeah, honestly, okay, I'm going to tell you guys a little secret here. So, somewhere else, I was talking about, somebody asked me about the Brian Laundrie case, about Gabby Petito. And we were talking, and all of a sudden this other person is like, because they said Brian and Gabby worked at supermarkets before they went on their trip. They did. They worked at Publix supermarket down in Northport. It was like, they did not. She was a nutritionist, and she worked in a restaurant. And I was like, okay, but she was a pharmacy tech, saving her money. But maybe she did that too. Agree to disagree. And then the same person later on, what was it? It was driving me crazy. It was like everything I said. About the Appalachian Trail. I said, I was joking. I said, I think Brian is more or less of a camper and more of a glamper. I do get the cauliflower crust. It's good. But it stinks when it gets cold. I will tell you that. Do you see how ADD I am sometimes? Okay, so anyway, I was like, and all these people were like, and he could survive on the Appalachian Trail for 9 years. When he was 3, his mom dropped him in the forest, and he walked out upright when he was. It was ridiculous. I was like, what? Like, somebody get me out of here. I can't do this with people. Like, I want to have a conversation, and I want to discuss things with people. I don't like this like stuff. So anyway, and it was like, well, I said something like, well, Gabby was out there with him too. No. Brian learned to talk from the wildlife out on the Appalachian Trail when he was just 3 months old. And I was like, okay, I can't with you guys anymore. Like, you know? So that's my little thing. Yeah, Tracy L, she did say she was a nutritionist to the cops. And that's kind of what I was trying to explain to this woman that was like, I work at the grocery stores. I'm going to get you. Yeah, I was like, I think nutritionist was her career, okay, over here. And pharmacy tech at public supermarket was a great way to work a job and then quit it and save money so you could go on your van life trip. You know, I wasn't arguing that she was a nutritionist at all with this woman because she did say that on tape. She said, I quit my job as a nutritionist to go on this trip. I think that's very, very true. And then she got a job that she felt was not her career path in order to save money. What are you saying? Kitty Von Me Out, which I love your name, by the way. Yeah, I wanted to say thank you for having a show that's zero drama and no negativity about other channels or personal, inappropriate jabs at even the bad guys. It's why I stayed here so far. Thanks, Crime Sushi. You're welcome. You're welcome. I like to stay in my own lane. So, and I don't, you guys, there's room for everybody on YouTube. I'm not going to get into the specifics, but there's no need for some of this backbiting and things that people are doing. And if you don't agree, you know me too well. If you don't agree with what a creator is saying, or, then don't watch it. If you feel like they're violating something, then find out a way to do something about it. I don't know, but it's just like life. I'm one of those people. If you know me, I can't with that stuff. So thank you. I'm trying to keep it, just stay in your own lane, and there's room for everybody, and we can disagree. Are we making you hungry? I've talked about pizza, Greek salad, sushi, cauliflower. I think that's it. We haven't talked about Brian hunting for foraging in the woods or anything, but that's all right. Kim Sugar says she thought he worked at his parents' cheese bar. Yeah, I see. I don't know. I have no idea, but I do know that the last place she was earning income, like a steady income, was at the supermarket. So let's see. Kathy Lynch, you think that Brian is hanging out with Bigfoot? Did you watch Trisha the other night, Kathy? I'm curious because I was telling her, and so the weird mom text. It's so funny. I have like in my phone like the L mom, the weird mom. I call these like weird names. Anyway, the weird mom and I text a lot, and she's a really good. I consider her a really good, sweet friend to me, and I've just had some issues along the way, and she's just much like Trisha, and but she was texting me like Ryan Foot. She would say there was a Brian Foot sighting, and I'm like, what? And then I got it. She's like, it's like Bigfoot but Brian Foot. So then she starts sending me these texts, and she's like, ooh, dog found Brian Foot, and it looks like he shook him out of his Brian Foot nest, and they found a Monster Energy drink in there. I don't know why I think it's so funny, but I can't see the search for Brian Laundrie anymore, or Brian Laundrie sighting anymore, without thinking about Brian Foot. It cracks me up. She has like the best sense of humor. She is hilarious. No, saying that Brian Laundrie squeals like a girl is not negative at all. You say, oh, so Kitty Von Meow, you say, yeah, Webslist too, of course. I had to quit another channel of drama after an hour of random pointless negativity. It was all awkward as hell. It can be. It can be. I know when I first started listening to YouTube, I had a channel I really liked, and it started kind of like turning that way. And ooh, Now you're making it all sexy, except it's Brian. Then that's forging barefoot with a loincloth. Yes. Maybe he's playing naked and afraid. Yes. Lily and Gail, I love Chinese food. That's like a thing for me. I like Thai food. I like sushi. I like all that stuff. All of it. All right, so let's see. Yeah, that's right. We don't allow that drubba. What am I? I go to. I'll go back to you. We don't allow drama rubbish. That's true. Oh, good night, Sassy Cat 64. Thank you for being here. I'm putting you guys to sleep. And Polly the Primate. God, I love your name. Oh, yeah. Bigfoot, sexy in a loincloth. Not Brian Foot, though. Nope. That is yucky. No tasteless use of emojis. Oh, you can use tasteless emojis. That's okay. That's not going to bother me. I used to work with this, my friend Jackie that was here last night. So I used to work. There was another person that worked with us, but like she didn't interact with Jacquelyn. It's just the way we were set up, and she used to write whole stories, like dirty stories, using emojis. And when we used to like have to go to trainings or stuff like that or whatever, like traveling, she challenged me. It was really unprofessional at the time, but whatever. It's whatever you have to do to get through the day. And Insightful Words says, no Bigfoot, I don't like hairy men. Well, you can wax him. Okay, well, you have my special permission. Hi, G-Dubs. I'm so glad you stopped over to say hello. We're just scooping around now. Seriously, guys, I am going to let me get through this really quick. Let me see if I can make it bigger. That's what she said. Let's see. I don't know if that worked or not. That made it way too big. Of course it did. That's not what he said. Hold on. I have to be on the Crime Sushi page to do this. This is ridiculous. Sorry, guys. All right, let's see. Go back to StreamYard. Make this one go down. There we go. All right, so that's a little bit bigger. And then when I play videos, I got to remember to mute myself. Okay, so I just showed you this article that came from CNN talking about that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to, let's see. I'll go over to Brian Enton's page because he's fantastical. Just make sure that what is the other pages? They don't load. Okay, so Brian Enton, a couple things. I don't need to show you or to put volume on here. The neighbors across the street from the laundries came over. It was about, I don't know, maybe about an hour or two before we went on tonight. They came over and nailed this sign into their lawn. It's a big picture of Gabby, and if you read on it, it says, remember me, Gabby Petito? I used to live here with you. And it's like, it says Chris and Roberta Laundry. So they banged it into the lawn, or not the lawn, the actual the easement, and then walked back across the street and went home. So that was kind of interesting. And the lady that has the mallet, she said, I hope they see it. Let's see. That's Friday night at the laundry house. Okay, this is good. Okay, so I'm going to play this and I'll tell you one more thing. The airplane flew back over the laundry house today. That's news. The TikTokers, can you believe we're using that term? You know those TikTokers? Those TikTokers raised more money and got another plane. And this banner on the plane reads, "End the silence, justice for Gabby." So that happened. And then Brian interviewed Josh Taylor from Northport. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to mute myself. This is going to be a little bit tricky. I'm going to mute myself here. And
you were still trying to corroborate the. Have you found anything in the reserve that belongs to Brian Laundrie? Anything that would be a signal he was there?
No, other than his car, that we know was there at the Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park leading to the Carlton.
I remember early on you said that you were still trying to corroborate the parent's story that he went hiking there. Have you been able to? Have you been able to see any video or anything that shows he was there?
Well, certainly we've seen a change in that story recently. We're still keeping a lot of those details of what we believe to have seen and observed and know to ourselves, for the integrity of the investigation. But some of the things that they've said recently, I think, have fit more into that.
So many people are worried right now that this is going to become a cold case. Is it becoming a cold case based on what you know?
Well, we need to find something. I think there's so much attention on this that I don't know that this case would ever get to be a cold case. We'll continue to search. We could be searching that Carlton Reserve and nearby lands for a long, long time if we need. It's certainly, there seems to be, for some people, they kind of find it hard to believe that we might be looking for someone deceased out there. That is certainly a possibility.
Based on what you do know, do police believe that Brian Laundrie is still alive?
It's possible. I certainly think that it would not surprise me if he is. It wouldn't surprise me if he's not.
Certainly interesting to hear police there say that it's basically a 50-50 chance whether or not Brian Laundrie is alive right now. They also talked about how the relationship between the Laundries and the police has been changing and evolving. We saw that with our own eyes yesterday when Chris Laundrie, Brian's dad, left this house behind me and went out and assisted police with the search. We're going to have much more of this interview coming up later on News Nation. Nicole?
And Brian, that's why I wanted to ask you about that, because we were watching that video of Chris Laundrie as he was driving.
The press conference and said, I was here when the police chief had the press conference and said, we have our eyes on Brian Laundrie. We know where he is. And we're not going to tell the media, but we know where he is. And then I think it was the next day that suddenly he was missing. I mean, how did that happen?
Well, I think you have a situation where you're working on intelligence, you're working on the best that you have. And I think what I'll tell you is that at no time did we make, we weren't lying. We weren't trying to say something to anybody. We were holding that press conference to be transparent about what was going on. I mean, and what would be in our benefit to say that if we thought it wasn't true? No investigation's perfect.
Was he under surveillance? I mean, did you have eyes on him?
What I'll say to that is that we were doing everything within the law that we could with the facts and the circumstances that were at that time.
Do you have any idea how he got away?
What I'll say is that that is a consistent, something that we're working to figure out. As far as how we got away, I don't even know how to answer that.
Well, what I mean is, if he was staying with his parents at the house, and I was out there were a lot of police outside the house a lot of the time.
Why didn't you see him?
I didn't see him, and I was out there. Police were out there. I mean, we've heard stories. Could he have gone out a back door? Could he have, run through a yard? I mean, do you have any idea?
Yeah, no. I think certainly what the family has told us is that he drove out to the park and
okay, I'm going to stop that video right there because did Josh Taylor, the spokesperson from Northport, just ask the reporter, well, did you see him? Like somehow he's culpable as well for this. I can't. they need to just own up. They didn't have the kind of eyes on them that they were puffing their chests out to be. It's not okay. It's not okay. But we can move past it. You're just making it worse by not being honest. Tamara, I get what you're saying here. You said that guy is so rude. He does come off as rude. I think that also Josh Taylor is the public information officer. He should know how to handle this kind of stress. This is probably the biggest thing he's ever handled in his career. I will tell you that I'm pretty sure that he wore the same clothes 2 days in a row at one point in this case because I saw him on TV wearing the same thing, and I was like, what? It's not a uniform. So I think that he just has, he needs a cup of coffee. But he's also, one thing I will tell you is that when you stand up and you have to give an explanation for something that went into the, what pot, when people come at you with accusations and questions, you got to learn not to take it personally. They're not talking about, they will make it sound like you did it. You personally, you who's standing up there right now, you are personally responsible for that. You have to remind yourself that I'm speaking for an entity. I'm speaking for an organization. I'm giving information as best I can. They're not really coming after me, but it's hard. It is hard to do. So what does this say? How can they use their FLIR on car chases and drug cases and not flash that house once? I don't know. And yes, insightful one, like you said, he's in a difficult position. Oh, early on, the other cop talking about this case? Yeah, there's a lot of them. That's right. Like I said, they messed up. He should have just said, we messed up. And that might be his special I'm on TV outfit. You're right. It could be Tamara. Because like I said, I think this is I don't think anything like this has happened in that neck of the woods before. So, on that note, my little love bugs, I am going to say good night. I'm going to say buenas noches and buena suerte and let you all go. Thank you for being here tonight and any night you pop in. I really do appreciate it. It means everything to me. I am trying to find what works for me and what doesn't. If you guys have suggestions, corrective criticism, anything like that, please don't hesitate to reach out to me and share those ideas because, I want to make this a place to be. If you'd rather hear interviews, those are hard because we have to work around time slots and they take, time to line up. But I can certainly do that if you want, to discuss older cases. We could do that every once in a while, pick a night a week. I'm always going to keep up with the current stuff because that's what I want to do. But I think what I don't want to do, guys, is I don't want to get on here 3 or 4 nights a week and just rehash. Do you know what I mean? Just talk about the same thing we talked about the other night and just go back into it. I just really don't. I want to have different things for different folks. And think about the Fright Day, October or whatever thing, maybe like I kind of did the creepy, cringeworthy true crime Christmas. I was thinking about maybe for the rest of October on Friday, we just call it Fright Day and we do something. I don't know. Maybe we can do a poll on what you guys take a survey on what you guys want to hear. That's completely up to you. I mean, this is your channel too. So if you're new here, thank you for being here. Please hit the subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up, hit the notification bell so you never miss a live. I'm also on Websters from time to time with Trisha Griffith, who is a very good friend of mine, a mentor, and I absolutely love her. Thank you to Ping the Router because, man, I love that Cookie Monster for moderating and everything else you do and for being a friend. I will say on top of everything else for being a friend. Thank you to Tambra, who is also a sweet friend, for moderating. And hoping I'm not missing any. I'll do a quick shout out. Carnage Street, Catnip, Tracy L, Candy Williams, Shiva's Girl, Sherry Runs Late. What you guys are gonna? Tamara S, Kitty Von Meow, Kim Schlicker, Sensible Crime, who I think went to bed. Polly the Primate, my favorite name to say. Yvette. One of these days I'm gonna learn to say her name. I think is it Randalucho? Randalucho? I don't know. You'll have to tell me. I want to know. That's the other thing, you guys. This is my email address. Right here. Email me. If you have ideas, email me. I love, and anybody that communicates me knows that I respond. You can find me on Messenger just under my name, Amy Fallon, which is just like this. You can find me at Twitter at Crime Sushi, which is right there. That's probably where I'm most active. Always check the community page on YouTube. And I'm on Instagram just as True Crime Sushi, and on Facebook as True Crime Sushi. So anytime you want to get in touch with me or you have a suggestion, Amber E, I see you. I would love going over old and new cases not getting attention, and yes, the Christmas stuff too. Okay, so there we go. And Rhonda Blackburn, you did catch a live. Bless you, Tracy L. I'm so glad you're here, Rhonda Blackburn. I'm so glad you're here. All right. So on that note, I'm going to let you all go. I'm going to try to do, this is a big night. Good night, Kathy Lynch. I'm going to try to do my outro without messing it up, or it's just going to go in the trash soon. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know. Good night. Thank you for supporting me. And I will see you soon. I'll be back tomorrow night. And, maybe I'll pull something out of my little rabbit hat trick bag and surprise you. Maybe they'll find Brian tomorrow. Let's hope. Okay. Maybe they'll find somebody that hasn't, a case that's gone cold. Maybe they'll find Summer Wells. Maybe we can talk about that. I will tell you this. I just said I was going to go. This is my little, I'm getting on it. This is my little soapbox. I'm not going to talk about the parents of Summer Wells. I'm not here to solve crimes. I'm here to discuss them. I feel like they've been completely, they haven't cooperated. They don't have Summer's best interests at heart. And when Summer is found, regardless, she'll never go back to them. So it's difficult. I don't want people to think I don't care about Summer Wells. There's just, in my opinion, we need to keep her name out there. We need to keep her flyer out there. I'll make a point to do that tomorrow. But right now, there's just nothing to talk about. So on that really super positive note, good night, guys, and I will see you soon. Oh my God, I did it.